You know, across the state and here on the South Plains, ranchers are still trying to assess the damage after doing everything they could to protect their herd from that winter storm.
Yeah, they had to worry about their own water problems and water for the livestock too. But as KAMC Laughead reports tonight, for some, their herds still suffered.
This year has been extremely difficult for farmers and for cattle ranchers across West Texas. First, a drought, then the pandemic, and now last week's ice storm. The storm not only made it harder for ranchers to get feed to their animals, but it also killed a number of cows and their newborn calves.
There's nothing more heart-wrenching to a producer than to lose an animal.
The cold snap sending Texas ranchers into a frenzy to keep their animals alive. Ranchers working around the clock to protect their cows from the sudden sub-zero weather.
Everybody plans ahead, but you typically don't plan ahead for an event like this.
To add insult to injury, the storm struck during calving season and led to the deaths of baby cows across the state. Tony Mann, who runs the livestock auction house Lubbock Stockyards, says he lost a calf in the freeze. This little guy was one of the lucky ones.
You got to get that calf out and get it somewhere warm, because more likely it's going to die, because they just can't survive coming out of a warm cow into the cold country.
Other Texas cows suffered similar fates. Some froze to death or died after walking across frozen stock tanks and falling through the ice. On top of that, ranchers faced power outages, burst pipes, feed shortages, and equipment malfunctions.
It's a hard life. You want to stay home by the fire, but you can't do it because you got to tend to your livestock.
Cattle rancher Lacey Cotter-Vardaman says she's thankful she didn't lose any of her cows, but the storm was nerve-wracking.
It's stressful trying to make sure that they have some way of having protection when a storm is coming and you've got 3 days to get everything lined up.
Every day she was out in the cold hacking away at the cows' frozen water with an axe so they would have something to drink.
We try very hard to make sure that their comfort is put before ours.
But they all agree that's just what ranchers do. Take care of their creatures, big and small, no matter what.
Actually really shined a light on the resilience and dedication of farmers and ranchers.
Laura Laughead, KAMC News.